All right, somebody came in for help with homework, and I realized I didn't teach this, and this is something, I mean, it's in the book, but I should have taught it. And so let's talk about the general addition rule. And the general addition rule is the probability of A union B is equal to the probability of A plus the probability of B minus the probability of A and B. All right? Two other things I want to talk about is disjoint or mutually exclusive. We use these words interchangeably, okay? And that is the probability of A and the probability of B is equal to 0. That means they have nothing in common. Okay, now if I was to draw a Venn diagram, here is A and here is B. See, they don't overlap? Nothing is in common. Nothing is in common. All right, so let's go talk about the general addition rule. So let's say I have a coin and a die. Okay, so the choices of a coin are either heads or tail, and the choices of a die is 1, 2, 3, 4, a 5, or a 6. Now, how many possibilities can I get? Well, let's see. I can get a heads and a 1 and a tails and a 1. A heads and a 2 and a tails and a 2. Heads and a 3 and a tails and a 3. Heads and a 4 and a tails and a 4. A heads and a 5 and a tails and a 5. A heads and a 6 and a tails and a 6. So do you see that I have a total of 12 different possibilities? 12 possibilities. So my sample space is 12. Okay, so now I want to know, let's go do a different color. What is the probability of getting a 3? Okay, so I can get a 3 here. I can get a 3 here. So that is 2 out of 12, which is 1 over 6, correct? Okay. What is the probability of getting a head? Okay, well, here's the head, 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 and here's the head. So that is what, 6 out of 12, which is better known as 1/2. Okay, let's go to purple. What is the probability of getting a 3 or a head? A 3 or a head. So here's the head, 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 here's the head. Now I said a 3. Here's a 3, here's a 3. Okay, so how many circles did I color? Do you see that I colored 7 out of 12? All right? Okay, so now let's go do my probability statement. I think I'm going to need to erase this. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to erase this. Remember my numbers. So let's go back to blue. So the probability of getting a heads or a 3. Now remember, whenever I say or, we will add. So the probability of heads plus the probability of 3, which is 1/2 plus 1/6, put everything into 6. So what do I get? 3, 6 plus 1, 6, which gives me what? 4 divided by 6, which is 2/3. Okay, but what happened here? I know that 2/3 doesn't equal to 7/12. All right, so I did the math for this, and I got 2/3 doesn't equal to 7/12. So something happened. And hopefully that you realize that one circle I circled twice. And that is this circle here. Notice how I circled it twice? I circled it for the heads and I circled it for the 3s. It got circled twice. So therefore I have to subtract the probability of H intersection 3. And there's one of those. So if I subtract that, so minus 1/12. So if I put everything in terms of 12s, so I get, why does it do that? 8/12 minus 1/12 gives me 7/12, which is what the answer when I got it the first time. All right? You have to subtract. All right, so now I'm going to do it with table math. Okay, so I did this table with conditional probability. Okay, so we have gender, and we have what people think is important while they're in high school. All right? So what if I wanted to find the probability that somebody is a boy and they like sports, and so the intersection of that is 50 over 478. Okay, so what if now I ask the probability of somebody likes sports, it's a boy or they like sports. This is the probability that they are a boy plus the probability that they like sports minus the probability that they are a boy and they like sports. So the probability as a boy is 227 divided by 478. The probability they like sports is 141 divided by 478. And the probability that they like both is going to be 50 divided by 478. So what is that going to be? 227, 141, which is 368, minus 50. So that gives me 318 divided by 478. So you see how we do it with table math? All right, great.